You guys in the room? Excuse me. Still clearing some stuff from my throat. Welcome to Friday Night Live. What was the real clever thing that I was going to call this tonight? In fact, you know what? Let me run over here real quick. I've got a couple of little quick things to do. By the way, I'm Paul Glasgow, Illegally Armed America. We are about to get rolling. Just cracked open a cold beer. I'm a little behind. That's my first one for the evening. I hope to have a couple of more before before I get in roll into bed tonight. I'm going to try to come in here. One of you gentlemen, here we go. Got it. I've got to go in here, and there we go. In P. Diddy, I was able to go in and assign you as a moderator. So thank you for the offer. Yeah, last week, it seems like, of course, it's like anything else with a little bit of popularity or momentum, you get the crap that comes rolling in. So last week we had a good bit of people trying to, I think, offer to take their underwear off for other people and probably offer a little bit more than just a sightseeing tour, I would imagine. Nevertheless, I was able to try to keep up with that as much as I could because, like a bunch of idiots, they put all kind of cool little emojis around their messages so they're somewhat easy to spot. So hopefully we don't have the panty dropper sellers on here quite as much tonight. I did just assign somebody as a moderator to help with that. It's kind of a cumbersome process because I have to go. I'm streaming this into a software called StreamYard, and it hands it off to YouTube. So I had to go over to YouTube to assign that moderator because you can't do that through StreamYard, or at least I don't know how to. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Good to see everyone. A lot of you guys rolling in here already, so I appreciate that. What I like to do is, for those of you that are new, I like to go through and give some shout outs to a bunch of the folks rolling into the room as more people roll in, because at this point we have 150 in the room and we'll have well over 1,000 shortly within the next few minutes. So I want to let those folks get in before I get too deep into everything. I also have a very special guest tonight. We're going to bring him here in just a minute. Let's see, guys. I have D. Murray, Matt W., Samantha Richardson, Aaron Roberts, James Starks. What's up, man? Mr. F&H. Robert Bowman, Colin L., Jimmy James, Tammy Tactile, JD21K, JJ Rainey, RC for RC Fanboy, McNasty 412, Heiner 57, Mike E. Walt, Riding Low 01, Ragnar Thor's Hammer, The Sentinel, El Toro Patron, NP Diddy. Let's see, Colin L., Mike McClune, Old Hammond Johnson, Tim Longstreet. Let's see, Sir Saltsalot, Levins Payne, David Holston, KD Cowboy, Gary Mazinski, Frosty Leprechaun, Dennis Buckner. I could go on all night. A lot of you guys are coming in right now. Look, I totally appreciate it. I'm going to try to get in here and answer a lot of the questions a little bit later on in the stream. I'm not sure if StreamYard does this, and this may be something that we can ask our guest here in a bit. But I know that when we used to do our live streams every Friday night on YouTube, that if you guys did it at Legally Armed America, it would highlight it, and it made it way easier for me to actually spot that you were asking me a question in the comment section. So I'm not sure if that's the case or not. Let me put my headphones on, and I'm going to come in here and welcome our guest. Let's see here.
Hey, Paul.
What's up, John? Guys, if you don't know John,
not much.
John Crump, and John Crump does a whole lot of really cool stuff in the industry. And if you guys don't know him, we'll get more to his information on how to follow him. But John does a lot of really cool stuff, gets a lot of the a bunch of the news and things like that you guys see that we talk about. We actually get that in many cases from John. John's really good at investigating certain things and getting the word out pretty quick. So again, John, welcome. Sorry to cut you off.
No problem. No problem. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, man. How about you?
Busy.
Yeah, I see that
going on.
So we'll get into a little bit of what you actually forwarded us a while ago about some interesting news earlier about the ATF agent that resigned. That's pretty interesting. I just read the letter a couple of times, and I actually highlighted a couple of things, knowing that you would be on here, that are a little bit alarming to me. That I want to point out that somebody that's been in an industry for that long, seeing their reaction of a place that they probably want to be loyal to, not feeling the love anymore. So I'd like to go over some of that with you. But real quick, tell me some of the other things you've been working on besides that particular letter.
I've been working on a lot of stuff, just following up on court cases like the Division 80 case, which is challenging the redefinition of a firearm. Been following that case a lot. That they're going to case on not a case. They're going to court on the 9th to argue for a preliminary injunction. The GOA case out of New York, they're going on the 23rd. And then you got the North Dakota, which should be on the 17th or 18th of this month, where they should argue for their preliminary injunction against the ATF from enforcing the new firearms rule. And that case is interesting because 17 states have joined as plaintiffs, which is really rare. Usually they will submit a friend of the court brief, amicus brief. But in this case, they're actually joining the case as plaintiffs. So that means the case is very, very strong.
Right.
And then you got the rare breed, which rare breed have a deadline coming up on the 9th to submit their response to the ATF's response to them.
Okay.
So that's going to be interesting to see.
Any idea on any of these cases, which way you think that they're going to probably lean?
I always say that if anybody tells you they know for sure which way the court is going to roll, then they don't know anything about the courts, because the courts can do really weird things. So I usually don't bet on anything. The New York case is the closest I have ever been into betting on a case. GOA sued there to prevent all the new laws surrounding concealed carry from going into effect in New York. And from the way the judge responded to the state when they asked for extended time, and the fact that he wants to rule before the law goes into effect on a preliminary injunction, I would bet that GOA is going to get that preliminary injunction. But like I said, courts are weird. They can do weird things.
I'm curious, and I get this question a lot, and I'm sure you do too. With a state, for instance, like New York, whenever you have the Bruin case or the Bruin ruling that comes down, a lot of these laws that are deemed unconstitutional, when a state like a New York again decides that they're not going to follow what the Supreme Court ruling was, who's the authoritative branch or the authoritative arm that enforces that? Because if a state says, well, I'm just not going to comply, well, who makes them? Do they just say, okay, you're not complying, that's bad, and then it's over?
No, the courts will step in. DC, when they started messing around after the Wren decision, DC kept on passing these laws when they made DC's child issue. And eventually the courts just got so pissed off with it, they just said, all right, we're nullifying all gun laws until you come up with something reasonable. So for a few hours, like a day, because they came up with laws really fast, for like a day, I was walking around like open carrying my Glock around DC, which was kind of crazy, but I just wanted to do it because, I knew they were going to pass the law soon. And when would you get the chance to open carry a Glock around DC?
Right.
I did that. So the courts can do that. And they can also hold state officials in contempt, which means they can actually, this is very, very rare, but they could put officials in jail.
Okay, then my question is, who puts them in jail? A marshal, U.S. Marshal? Is that who would do it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They just order them in jail. They go get arrested and they put them in jail for contempt. That's very rare, though. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
But what I do see happening is the court saying, all right, the law is null and void.
I think you and I probably ought to get together off screen and maybe put a video or something together if we have to collaborate on that. I think that would be an interesting video from the time something like Bruin, the ruling comes down, to all the different various stages of a state disobeying the Supreme Court ruling and what would take place after that. I think that I would find that to be interesting. So I think our viewers would also.
Yeah, there's plenty of examples of it. DC is like the biggest one. Brian Wren sued one, and then that went to court. And DC kept on passing these laws that kept on adding more layers of bureaucracy to prevent people from concealed carrying. And then eventually the court just said, all right, well, we're going to nullify all carry laws in DC. And you would be surprised how fast DC passed the law. It was like an emergency thing the next day. And then
what courts are the ones that do the ruling on that? The district courts?
District courts, and they can always appeal to the circuit court. Either side can appeal to the circuit court. In New York, it's in the district court, the Northern District Court, and they got a pretty good judge. The judge in the case is a Trump appointee, really, really strong on the Second Amendment. And the fact that when the state asked for time to respond because it's constitutionally complicated, and they have to look at the historical purpose of the Second Amendment and the text of the Second Amendment and apply these laws to the Second Amendment, the judge said to them, well, you should have did that before you passed the law, so therefore you don't get any extra time. I want to roll on
wow. That's it. Just what, and I guess I look at it like that. We're somewhat fortunate down here in Louisiana that if our state or whatever decided to do something, and district courts were the ones that were going to have to talk about anything, I think we'd be in pretty good shape. I worry about those viewers of mine and yours that are in states behind the Iron Curtain and don't have much of an option as far as the court system taking, or at least having, their back. So again, I guess my question would be, what if, they refuse to hear something, and can they just refuse it?
The courts?
Yes.
No, the courts, they have to hear it. And then the only one that really has that can refuse to hear something is a couple different things. When it gets to the circuit level, it goes to a 3-judge panel. And then you can appeal for an en banc, which means a full bench, which means all the judges hear it. They can say, no, we're just going to go with what the 3-judge panel says. Or the Supreme Court can say, no, we don't want to hear it. Because you got to file a writ of certiorari, writ of cert. And that's basically petitioning the court to hear your case. And they don't have to hear your case.
And I guess wouldn't that group of judges have to reinterpret what the Supreme Court ruled on anyway? Because if they're disagreeing, because essentially it'd be disagreeing with what the Supreme Court passed down in their own ruling, right?
Yeah, well, the judges are really, really tied to what the Supreme Court says. A judge cannot just disobey what the Supreme Court says. That would be a quick way of getting removed from the bench if you deny constitutional law as laid down by the Supreme Court. You can't do that. So they are bound by that.
I guess my concern is it seems like everybody has taken it upon themselves to interpret or reinterpret things their own way. And that's what bothers me, I guess.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. A lot of the cases that went up to the Supreme Court have been kicked back down to the circuit court, remanded back down to the circuit courts to hear it again. Almost all of those cases were ruled constitutional via the 2-step process.
Okay.
Strict and intermediate scrutiny. The upholding of the assault weapons bans, everything like that. Duncan versus Bonta, all that. Now they can't rule on it via the 2-step process. They can only rule on original text and history of the Second Amendment. And if they went down to the 2-step process, that meant that they've already, said that this law violates the original text and history of the Second Amendment, but because of public safety, you know, we're going to rule that as constitutional, but they can't do that anymore.
Right.
It's going to be very hard for them to uphold these laws.
Speaking of Bonta, has anything else ever come out about that data breach, if you want to call it that, from California?
They have given everyone, supposedly given everyone who had the information exposed, free credit monitoring and like LifeLock type service.
Wow.
Like identity theft protection.
That was so nice of them.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just kind of curious. I went to their website for probably a week after that to look at their database. They had said they had a public database and it was never back. Do you know if it's back up? The database that they originally put up that had all that info in it?
I don't think it is.
Okay.
It might be. Last time I looked, it wasn't. So
yeah.
I think
I've got it bookmarked on my phone, and every now and then I'll go look, and it's not been up at least since that story came out.
Yeah, I think that it was put on hold. Funny thing was that we gave out Bonta's cell phone number and everything on when I was covering it, and they struck my video as privacy violation.
I had the same because I did a picture of a Google Map Street View of his supposed house, and they did the same thing to me.
Yeah, but then they called me like the next day. Not called me. They emailed me the next day a comment saying, "Hey, look, it was a mistake. Honest mistake. We didn't do it." So I was like, "Okay, well, it looks like the Attorney General of California was watching my channel, apparently."
Wow. So did they give you a strike or anything like that?
No, it was like a soft strike. So,
you know, I got a strike back in May, first time in 10 years. And coincidentally, I appealed it. Of course, when I appealed it, the moment I hit submit appeal, they said appeal rejected. So the bot was quick, and I appealed it again. There was another step further because the video I had out there was not worthy of a strike. And I knew that. I hadn't violated any terms or anything like that. And wouldn't you know it, while I was at the NRA show in Houston, I noticed, because they demonetized my entire channel. I mean, 1,000 videos, boom, nothing. And when they demonetized it, the $sign next to all the videos was gone. Like it didn't even appear. It wasn't grayed out, didn't have a strike through anything. It wasn't even available. So I knew by looking at my videos that I was not monetized. And while I was in Houston, I just happened to pull up my screen. I think me and some other YouTube guys were sitting around talking, and I noticed I had the $sign was back, but it was grayed out on everything. I was like, well, that's weird. So I went in to edit it, and I was able to turn monetization back on. Come to find out, apparently I won my secondary appeal, but I didn't lose my strike. And the month that I was demonetized, I didn't get any of that money back. But my strike is still sitting out there. But they remonetized my video. The one that they had a problem with is back monetized, fully monetized now. But I still have my strike that's pinned, or that's still sitting out there.
Yeah, I got a strike on Facebook, and I got a strike for saying, somebody said, "Hey, what's up, John?" I said, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "Strike." I was like, "What?" So I went to appeal it, and when I appealed it, it said, "Due to COVID, we don't have enough people to review it, so therefore the strike stands."
Oh, nice. Good
like,
Lord.
So hi.
You're a little too aggressive in your greeting there.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, what's up?"
Wow, that's nuts, man. All right. Well, look, is anything else cool going on in the news right now? Anything that you think that we should be talking about?
I would say watch the news for the next week or so. There's something coming out.
Okay. Is it coming out from you? I mean, we're going to hear it from you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, so tell everybody where they need to go to keep an eye on that.
Okay, that's going to come out on AmmoLand at first, and then that will be on my channel, John Crump News. It will be on there, and I'm sure we'll be talking about it on John Crump Live. I'm pretty sure it's gonna go everywhere.
Okay.
But yeah, there is also 36 lawsuits that are going to be dropping in the next week or two, including one in California. I don't want to give up too much, and one in the Northeast. non-GOA lawsuits. I'll say that, but I don't want to give out too much information because it's not mine to give out. Plus, you never want to give them a total heads up of what's going on.
Sure, sure.
So we should. So that's probably going to be big as well.
Okay.
And GOA, we have been launching a new FOIA site. If you go to gunowners.com, not .org, but .com, and go to FOIA, we are going to be posting FOIA requests. It's my project, so I'm doing it by myself. So it's taken a while, but what we're doing is we're organizing all our FOIAs that I and GOA have done, and organizing them into. Right now it's only ATF, but you're going to be able to click on ATF, FBI, Homeland Security, and then the category, what it's about, and you're going to be able to get a summary of what each FOIA is about. And then the summary is going to get better as I get caught up. And then you're going to be able to go to that FOIA request and find whatever information you want. So instead of just dumping them on the site, they're going to be categorized, summarized, and everything else. So that's going to help a lot of lawyers.
Yeah.
And just the general public's going to have access to information. I know you and I've talked about not gatekeeping, and this is one of the things that GOA doesn't want to do. They don't want to gatekeep people, and I don't want to gatekeep people. So we're just going to throw all our FOIAs up there and let anyone go through it, because I might miss something, you might miss something.
Yeah.
And I see Swamp Dog Armory out there, he might find something.
Right. Out of curiosity, on a FOIA request, is that something that I know you got your hands full, so I mean this is probably a bad question to even ask, but is there a way for someone to request a FOIA, or is there a way for us to maybe give directions to the average person where they can go submit their own FOIA request?
Yeah. On my news channel, John Crump News, I did a video about it like a long time ago. And I figured it was going to get a lot of views, and it got like 10 views.
And you probably worked your butt off on it too, right?
Yeah, explaining how to do it. But if you go to FOIA.gov, it has a bunch of different ways. Or if you go to just Google ATF FOIA, because I figured that is where a lot of people are going to want to FOIA from. ATF FOIA. You can they actually have an online site where you can do it all through. Online. The thing is, you don't want to be overly broad, but you don't want to be overly specific either.
Okay.
There's a sweet spot. And I would love to say this is exactly how you find the sweet spot, but it's trial and error.
Okay. I'm curious if you filed a FOIA request on what you broke the other day on that beautiful thing. Have you done anything with that?
Yeah, that's already in.
Okay. What's the turnaround time typically on a FOIA request?
That's probably going to be a while. Usually we try to get it in 20 days, but sometimes it goes longer, and then you have to threaten to sue. That one, I think we're going to have to threaten to sue.
Yeah, I believe
Project Veritas took credit. I saw it at Congress.
I saw that.
I was like, wait a minute. No, we broke that.
And I saw some people actually commented on my video of it. Yeah, Project Veritas broke that. And I'm like thinking to myself, no, they didn't. I mean, I was literally talking to you whenever you broke it.
Yeah, we broke it 4 hours before Project Veritas.
Right.
Okay.
I'm like, come on, man. Really? I mean, you couldn't say John Crump. I mean, come on, dude.
And if you look at the pictures, it's the same exact pictures that I read.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. The fold in the paper, the way the end of it goes to the screen, everything.
The table.
Well, when Ted Cruz printed his out, I was like, I have that exact same picture. You know, I mean, it's just like, come on, really? I mean,
yeah, that wasn't me. Actually, Stephen Stambolier broke that.
Okay.
He is a GOA lawyer and a good friend. He sent it to me.
Okay.
It was actually sent to him.
All right. Well, speaking of ATF, you actually sent out something a little while ago. The ATF has an agent who has resigned, and I highlighted a couple of things of what you sent over.
I will say something that I didn't put in my video or on the AmmoLand article, but he is the guy that was running Fast and Furious.
That was actually running it, right? So I mean, his credibility is kind of shoddy, if you if you ask me. That's putting it mildly. And to read what he wrote in here,
It was a long letter.
it was a long letter, and now don't get me wrong, it was pretty good. There was some stuff that I highlighted that I was like, well, that sounds like, well, he's definitely on this list, that's for sure. But a couple of things that I wanted to point out, and just for those of you that don't know, Brandon Garcia is the ATF agent who, when did he retire? Was it, or resign? Was it like within the last day or so?
Yes.
Okay.
Within the last day or so, probably. I got it this morning.
Okay.
So it probably happened yesterday.
Well, I'm going to put a video out on this tomorrow morning, probably pretty early. But it's a 6-page letter, and it talks about all the things that he sees wrong with the ATF, the problems he has with it, the politicization of the ATF. The guy obviously seems to, if not lean to the right, he at least has a real problem with the fact that the ATF leans really far to the left.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that he leans to the right.
Yeah.
And he retired because you get retirement after 20 years, and he retired. I mean, he quit after 18 years.
That's being kind of pissed off, I guess. That's really, really disgruntled. I mean, think of the pension this guy just ditched, but some of the things that he said, I mean, I was really, let's see, I'm not going to read the whole thing. It is obviously way too long. I don't know what the mission really is anymore, but I don't like it, was one of his quotes. We as agents are required to set aside our personal and political opinions and do our job. Why does that same standard not apply to the entire Department of Justice? That's a pretty powerful statement right there. I'm confident that the agents and officers regular working violent crime and going toe-to-toe with the most violent criminals on the street are not worried about dying from COVID, or if everyone is vaccinated or wearing a mask, or if they can telework. I was like, this dude, it's like he had notes that were logged away that he needed to get it off his chest.
Yeah,
he did.
Doesn't seem like he's pro-vaccine.
No, not pro.
When he talks about like the redefinition of a vaccine.
Yeah, it's like, what did he say? Like hypocrisy. They redefined hypocrisy just like they redefined vaccine.
Yeah.
He was pretty. I mean, there's like whole paragraphs that I was started to highlight, and I'm like, the whole paragraph is interesting. Some of the things.
How they worry about regulating the gun of law-abiding citizens instead of stopping violent criminals.
Yeah, that's what kind of struck me a little interesting. Instead of just talking about how he didn't like the, I guess, internal policies or whatever, he was specific about how they were focusing on strictly the gun, but they were letting guys out of jail left and right and not imposing any real any kind of laws or whatever on any of these criminals. They're just basically letting them plea down to lesser crimes and whatnot. I mean, same thing we all talk about. We talk about it all the time. If we're sitting here worried about banning whatever guns you want to ban, but at the same time, people who are breaking all the laws, it's a turnstile basically that they're running through to go in prison and out the next door. So I think he's got a real problem with it. I mean, I will say this. I saw your note about the Fast and Furious. To me, that it doesn't discredit the things he's saying here, but at the same time, look, I mean, we've seen some of the stuff the ATF has done here recently. I don't know how anybody could work there with some of the dirty stuff they've done between the people visiting door to door, and then the lady taking the snapshots of all the records. I mean, that's just the kind of stuff they're like, really? And when I watched, I think I put out a video. Yeah, I did earlier today of Ted Cruz talking to Christopher Wray of the FBI. They have that whole plausible deniability thing. And when Ray said that he had not seen this, I mean, he made the comment that, oh, I've not seen that. And then he proceeds to almost word for word describe, we take pains to make sure that any one thing like a symbol or whatever does not identify the thing that they have in bold on the top paragraph where it says any one thing is not what makes this person an extremist. But he proceeded, pardon me?
How about two things?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So he just basically said, I've never seen that before, and then he repeated almost everything in that bolded out statement. I'm like, really, dude? So it's like, it's clear that he approved this in an elevator, in a hallway, or some kind of way that couldn't tie him back to it, but he clearly knows about it. Do you honestly think that would go out to law enforcement or any field agents out there, and this man even if it's an indirect stamp of approval, that it didn't exist. I mean, come on, really? I doubt that. That's a pretty tight, organization as far as not just letting people randomly make new policy.
Yeah, exactly. I think I have about 6 or 7 things like in the room that I'm in that would that's on that list.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know that. Of course, who knew that the Betsy Ross flag was bad? But I have a Black American flag that somebody sent to me. It wasn't sent to me with a message attached to it of what it was supposed to stand for. It was a gift that somebody sent to me. They thought it looked cool, and I was like, okay, well, just have it. I have a Gaston flag over there. I mean, all these things are things that I'm like, well, if you couldn't pick a broader brush to paint most of America with, and there's people that aren't even right leaning that have these things in their house,
Yeah, well, you're doing like Benjamin Franklin or Thomas Jefferson quotes.
Right.
Apparently, if you quote
Right.
Thomas Jefferson, then you're an extremist.
Right.
If you talk about the founding fathers, you're an extremist.
Yep.
Doesn't really make sense. But it is. I mean, it is what it is. You can't talk about the Alamo. You can't talk about what happened at Waco.
Yeah. Yeah. Or Ruby Ridge. I mean,
or Ruby Ridge.
Well, it's like I said in my video, this seems like instead of scrubbing America's history with this memo, it looks like they're trying to scrub the ATF and the FBI's history with this memo. They don't want you talking about it.
100%. 100%. That's one of the things that I brought up. It's like, so you can't talk about the FBI's and ATF's biggest failures.
Right. Because that makes you an extremist. And you're kind of scratching your head going, how? I can't even do the math on that one.
If you point to them screwing up, oh, you must be an extremist.
Yep. And oddly enough, whether it were right-leaning extremists or the obvious left-leaning extremists, there were no real extremist symbols listed in here, like none that are used. I just out of fairness, none on the right either. I mean, if you noticed, they think the Proud Boys, I don't know anything about the Proud Boys, but they think that's an extremist group. Nothing about them was on here. Nothing. It's like the people who the Black Lives Matter, like Ted Cruz said, and the Antifas, none of that was on there. These are easily identifiable as extremist groups, and they're not even mentioned in there. No symbols. I figured out you would see the anarchy sign on there or something. None of that was on there.
I've never seen the 3%ers take over part of a major U.S. city. I have seen Antifa do that.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah, and actually claim it for their own and really kind of have their own rule of law for a little while up in, was it Portland? Where they had their Chad or Chaz or whatever they called it?
Yeah. It was Chaz, then Chop.
Chop, yeah.
He changed the name.
I don't think they've ever reclaimed that area totally. I mean, people are still afraid to go in that area because they've just destroyed it.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Look, one more thing I want to mention real quick. I want to let everybody know that we are going to be doing a giveaway. So those of you that are on here, we have a good group of people in here right now. We're going to be doing a giveaway at the end of this show. So I want to make sure everybody hangs out for that. John, let's talk a little bit about AmmoLand. I know I've always been a big fan of AmmoLand, the guys over there. What's the process for getting news out? I mean, are you guys like on the clock all the time, just waiting for a news story to break and then you bang it out there? How does that work?
Yeah, we have editors that are on call like 24 hours. Oh, actually up until like about midnight. After midnight, the wires kind of shut down and they don't reopen up until the next day. So up until midnight, even sometimes after midnight, if I make a call, I can get something out pretty fast. A lot of us work constantly. I work constantly. I'm always monitoring stuff. That's why I have my little foldable phone here, so I can open it up, have the big screen, so I can see. And I always carry my laptop because news breaks. And I don't do it just to get, for any other reason besides to inform the people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I go on vacation. I haven't taken a week off. I was on a cruise ship writing. Honestly, Hank Strange is one of my friends, and I told him a couple weeks ago, I was like, yeah, I'm going to take the week off and not write anything. He's like, yeah, okay. He's like, I don't believe it.
Yeah,
And I'm like, no, really. And I ended up writing 5 articles and putting out 8 videos.
of course.
So
Yeah.
didn't really work out, but one day.
I think a lot of this is kind of a passion project for a lot of folks. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I think that you can spot the folks who are doing it just for the views or the recognition, but I think there's a handful of us that we really are passionate about it. And I think we truly care about the Second Amendment and the Constitution in general. Um, I mean, I've told people many, many times, I'm guided by fairness. That's kind of like my moral compass, is just being fair. It's not party affiliation or anything like that. It's just being fair to everybody. And just fortunately, from the right leaning or conservative side, there's more fairness there. Like just like the whole, if you want to just throw an example out there, the whole welfare thing. Look, I grew up poor and I've worked my butt off since I was 13 years old. Nobody's ever given me anything. So it's hard for me to be able to justify in my mind giving somebody a really large portion of my paycheck who's not even attempting to work. And believe me, there's a lot more able-bodied people out there than me. So that's where I think that, what we do is more of a passion thing, because if fairness guides us and we're just trying to do the right thing, then we see a lot of things that are not fair, especially like we talked about the memo from the ATF and all that. We just see this level of unfairness out there that we're like, really? And I think a lot of us kind of want to write that, not like Superman or Batman write it, but information is strong. I mean, it's powerful. You get that information out there and people start doing their own thing. I have never seen a group of people like that watch a lot of what we do and consume our content as vocal as I see right now. People are loud right now. And I think they take what you put out, what we put out, and they run with it. And they're very vocal about it.
Yeah, I worked my ass off. So no one's ever given me anything either. I worked all the way through high school to pay for my high school stuff, and then I saved up money and went to college. I got my engineering degree. Uh, I worked in Silicon Valley for a bunch of different companies, and I mean, just this stuff kept on nagging at me. Like I kept on saying, I need to do something. I need to do something. Then once I was in a financial place to do something and take like a massive pay cut, I did, and now I'm putting out news.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be rewarding to see your stuff all over the place. I'm curious. Okay, you're obviously not the only person that puts news out. How do y'all do that? Like your counterparts out there that are doing it, whether they're working for somebody else or whatever, you being more associated with AmmoLand, if somebody else puts out a breaking story or whatever, how do you do that? Because obviously you want your AmmoLand viewers to see it also. How do you coordinate with that guy that put that content out, and how do they coordinate with you when they want to do the same?
Well, usually what happens, and I will say, like Truth About Guns, AmmoLand, Bearing Arms, all these sites have really good relationships with each other. So even like the Reload or whoever, like let's say something comes on a Truth About Guns, we'll write our spin on it, our take on it, but we'll reference back to the original Truth About Guns. The first line was saying, Truth About Guns broke a story on blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do too much of that. Sometimes I do, but mostly I am working my own sources. I don't really have to worry too much about that because I'm usually trying to dig up the information.
Right. Right. Interesting. I'm sure you guys share some sources the same too. I would imagine it's so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've always, even before I put videos out, would just love going to these places that had dumps like that. And I think that's the one thing that I like about data dumps, like what you guys do. Yeah, of course, it's Second Amendment related, but you're not trying to make it so political that you can't really tell what the real story is about. I mean, I don't know if anybody watching this right now even goes to like an MSNBC.com or a CNN.com. You can't. For one thing, the news is hours behind. Like if I'm looking for something in our world, if AmmoLand puts it out there, there's a very good chance that it may be days before an actual publication, a big name publication, is going to put anything out there. And I don't know why. Maybe they're trying to, see if it's a legitimate source or whatever, follow up on the story. I don't know. But to me, why would you even go to any of these quote news sites? Because they're so slow and their slant is so bad that you almost have to look and see what their source is to go backtrack and figure out what the story is really about.
Well, AmmoLand.com actually has more traffic than MSNBC.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I mean, that's not a surprise, but yeah, I would expect that.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. Sometimes you'll see your story like ripped almost word for word without citing, and you'll see like your documents. I do digital watermarks on all my documents I release, just so I can, not that I go and like yell at people, but I just want to see where it shows up at.
Yeah.
Who says they have sources,
Right.
especially in the mainstream.
Right.
Then I can find the watermark, digital watermark, which you know, it's not like a watermark that you see. It's like hidden in metadata, and then I can say, okay, well, yeah, just so
That's
I can
mine.
just keep track of who's actually doing their own research, and that actually helps me too, because that means that I can tell if my sources are giving information, which they're allowed to giving information to anyone else.
Right.
Or if it came from another source.
I got you.
Or maybe there's 2 people that have this document, or 3 people that have this document. I can look and see.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna I'll definitely be doing a story on this ATF guy tomorrow. I'll digest more of what you sent over and take a look at it. Interesting though, and I still say I can't even make the connection of how he's the I guess if you want to call it mastermind behind Fast and Furious. I'm just like,
I mean, I wouldn't say he's a mastermind. I don't think he had the idea. I think he was assigned to it.
okay,
And looking through it, I think they try to make him a fall guy.
really? Well,
Yeah.
there was 513 pages in that report. I did not read all 513 of them. So, but I want to go in there and pick out where he is named in there and use that for my video tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll send you. I'll send you that.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Anything else you want to talk about? I know we got John Crump. Okay. Do me a favor real quick. Explain the distinction between John Crump Live and John Crump News. So everybody knows what those 2 platforms are for on YouTube.
John Crump News is like where I break news, and it's news based. So I give 2A news and stuff like that. I cover court cases, lawsuits, gun laws, just anything that has to do with Second Amendment and news is there. Industry news, anything gun related. Right to keep and bear arms is all that all goes there. John Crump Live is more of a free for all, like long form podcast type thing. We're also on the Firearms Radio Network, and I have people like Paul on, or Eric, or Tim, or even people that are outside the gun industry. We've had artists on, we've had TV personalities on, politicians on, just different people on that I find interesting, that I want to get their perspective on, because I like talking to people and I like understanding where people come from, like what makes them tick, and then that's what that's for. So John Crump Live is that's my passion project, I would say.
And how often do you how do you go live on that?
On Monday through Thursday from 5 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, okay. All right.
So 4 days a week. It's me and a guy named Flying Rich. Flying Rich is a really cool guy. He's my best friend, and he's also a YouTuber. So
you guys do a good job. I enjoy watching the show. I enjoy being on it also, but I mean, watching it's fun. I think you guys both do a good job.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We both love doing it. So
okay.
We're not doing it for money. It's like not like our bread and butter or anything.
That's
like
right.
that. It's just 2 guys having fun with people that come on.
Well, y'all keep it up. Y'all do a good job. I appreciate you coming on here. I know Friday nights are kind of tough. So I appreciate you doing that. I would like to talk with you off the air about possibly doing 5-10 minutes every Friday, just to pop in when you can. I say every Friday, when you can on Fridays, because I think it'd be cool for us to do kind of like this is what I've been working on this week. I mean, we don't expect you to talk about the stuff you're working on going forward, but some of the cool stuff you've done. And, maybe we can discuss some of that, because typically a lot of what, you would be writing about anyway is what we recap here on a Friday night anyhow. So we're already kind of doing it. So it'd be cool to have you on here as well.
All right. I think next Friday you might have something big to talk about then. All
Well,
right.
well, I want to next Friday. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be on an airplane next Friday. I fly out Monday morning to Palmetto State Armory for a week, and I fly back in. I'm
Oh,
sitting
nice.
here watching the news a while ago, and they're talking about all the airline cancellations, and I'm like, this is perfect. This is just awesome. The timing could not be any better. So I doubt I'm going to be getting home. My plane already was supposed to get home like at 8:30 p.m. Told my wife, I said I'm probably going to be sleeping in an airport.
All right. I'll give you a heads up so you can like pre-record a
Please,
video or
if
something.
I have to, I'll do that on the road and I'll upload something after you have a chance to share it with me. So I would appreciate that.
All right.
All right, John. Look, good seeing you, man. And we'll be talking during the week to you.
All right. All right. Thanks, Paul.
All right, thank you, buddy. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Again, John Crump, and John is a good guy. John does some really cool stuff in the industry, and I hope you guys will go follow him. Again, John Crump Live on YouTube and John Crump News. John, I knew of John as a writer on AmmoLand before I knew John, so I always appreciated his work prior to even getting to know him. And John's just a good guy. And again, his show it's really entertaining. Flying Rich, who's with him, does a great job. They interact well with each other, and it's just a good entertaining show. And they have a lot of good information that they pass on also. Again, John's just a great resource for anything. So when you go look at his stories, in fact, I noticed right before I got on here, he something on AmmoLand. So he's real timely, and it's kind of funny. We joke about him, always go on the go, but it does seem that way. Let's see. I'm going to pull up AmmoLand real quick. Yeah, I mean the top story: leaked ATF resignation letter shows agents' frustration over politicization. That's this letter right here that he sent earlier, and he's got a story on AmmoLand. So if you want to go take a look at it, you can actually see the whole letter out there. John does some quotes of it on there, but I'm sure he has a link to the entire letter. He always does. He'll always put that information out there. So you'll want to go check that out. Might be interesting for you to go check that out prior to my video coming out tomorrow, because I'll give my own, I guess, slant, if you will, on the letter, some thoughts that I have. I wouldn't say that it's the most damning thing in the world, but it's interesting to see someone who's worked for an organization for 18 years come out and say the things that this guy says. And like John said, 2 years from retirement. Are you kidding me? Walked away from all of that measly 2 years before being able to have it all. So clearly he had an issue. Now, I will say this, based on where he's coming from, just a hunch, he may not have a problem getting a job with firearms industry personnel somewhere, whether it be from a consulting standpoint or something like that, because as we often see, the anti-gun people who leave either the firearms industry or the ATF, they always end up saddling up with these anti-gun groups like Giffords or Everytown. So I would imagine the same might be true if you are pro-gun. I mean, I know it sounds like an oxymoron to say that an ATF agent might actually be pro-gun, but when you read the guy's letter, it does appear that he's pretty darn pro-gun and pretty Second Amendment driven. So again, who knows? I mean, I don't know the guy personally. It's just based on reading a 6-page letter. Real quick, I want to talk about, at the end of this show, I need you guys to start doing something for me, because we got, I'll let this run a little bit longer than normal to give everybody time to get in. But I'm running a quick little special. What I need you guys to do, if you can, and if you got to, I don't know how you multitask to do it, and maybe you can just close the app on your phone or whatever, but if you can go out, I have a secondary YouTube channel that I'm working on, and it is called HOAPD. And what that stands for is Homeowners Association Police Department. It's a satirical look. It's a comedy. It's scripted stuff. It's not like what I do here. It's just making jokes at it's kind of a thumb in the eye at people like the ATF and the FBI. There's one of our bots right there trying to sell their panties. So I think if you go look at this, I'm going to play the video real quick. I want you to see this, but it's cool. It's like a joke about the authoritarian abuse that a lot of these people do out there, where they have this perceived power and they use it the wrong way, and not the wrong way. They totally abuse it. So I want you guys to see one of the videos right now. This is going to be where we're going to have the contest drawing. Let's see what we got right here. Let me go pull the video. I'm going to bring it up so that we can see it. Let me go to the page. And this is HOAPD. And yes, I am in this. And it is a lot of fun. And I hope you guys get a chance to go subscribe to it. Here we go.
Looks like I'm gonna have to let you go there. Can't crush skulls and dreams with you, buddy. Dragged a lot of strange with you.
I don't know. It's close, man.
Is it close or is it compliant? I mean, Dickwood Compliance Manual says the allowable neutral sector between landscape border and manscaped zoysia bedding is 1.73 inches.
Now you got a violation of Covenant 64L.
$50, motherfucker.
I think he's talking to you.
He ain't talking to me.
What the are you doing in my yard?
Taxing your Christmas present away from your daddy, bitch.
That's your butt buddy waiting for you to mount him?
Hey! Hey, you wish I was your butt buddy.
I'm gonna take my belt off and whoop that boy's ass.
Hey! Look at his yard guy.
Who the are you?
His dad.
Who's dad?
His dad.
Out of Pepe. It's all good, dog.
What up, player?
I thought so, motherfucker. I was about to roundhouse his ass.
Hey!
Hey, what a dick.
Pretty sure he's talking to you, though.
Yeah, I was about to kick his ass.
All right, guys. So that's it right there. That's what we've been working on. Me and a good friend of mine have been working on that. And we're having a blast with it right now. We've got 6 episodes out there. All that we're doing is we're trying to put out little 2-minute pieces, little 2-minute segments, kind of like to keep, things flowing, fast-paced stuff. Very, very, very small, as you can see, narrow plot lines. So it's not like we go into any, it would never be a 30-minute show, if you want to call it that. We're having a blast with it. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to build the page up because, as you guys know, it's tough to build up an audience on YouTube. I'm trying to run a special this week, or a giveaway, this week. And what I'm going to do is we're going to run another one. That's going to be like during the week. We'll run that. But just for everybody we've got 262 people on here right now. Just for those people, we're going to do this. Okay, you're going to get one of my How to Make a Monster books, not this one with all the paper in it. You're going to get one of my Legally Armed America Mission First Tactical 30-round magazines. And you're going to get one of my limited edition Legally Armed America Megadeth, Metallica. Boy, that'll piss off Metallica. Metallica logoed hats with the Gadsden flag on it. And those, or you can't even get those on my website. Those are just like I give those away, or I wear them personally myself. Have t-shirts of those on my Ballistic Ink website, but I don't think the hats are on there. So what I need you to do, anybody that wants to actually, be in this drawing for tonight, because I'm going to draw it here in a little bit, a couple of minutes. Go to the YouTube channel for HOAPD. If you're already subscribed to it, fine. Take a screenshot of it and then send me that screenshot. In fact, I'm going to give you that email address right now so that you got it. Show me that you are. There we go. There it is right there. That's my email address, paul@legallyarmedamerica.com. Again, paul@legallyarmedamerica.com. Send me that screenshot that you are subscribed. Subscribe and ring the bell. Show me that you've done that through that email address. And when I do, I'm going to go to this. Let's see, where is it? I'll show you guys where I'm going to do it. Share. I am going to have it right here where I already have my link, my wheel. This is a wheel that I've got that will add the names over here to the side. And of course, as you guys go in there and do that, I will take your names, plop it in here. If there's multiple, say like Eric's that you see on here, then I'll just simply put your last initial or whatever, and we'll actually roll that at the end whenever we're about to get off. We'll pick the winner, and whoever the winner is, you'll just email me when I announce who that is. You'll email me back whatever your mailing address is, and I'll get this out to you. So again, go to hoapd.com. Honestly, guys, it's not easy to find. Unfortunately, it's not popular enough right now. Let me see if I can even find it. Let's see. I will try to see if I can't post the link real quick. Stand by 1 second. Let's see. How in the world do you share this? I know that I could share. I know I can do this. I can copy the link of that video that I just showed, and I will post that. Okay, if you guys will look in the comment section, I just posted the link. That's to that last YouTube video that we just saw. So just if you want to go to that, click on the HOAPD channel, subscribe to it, take a screenshot of that, email it to paul@legallyarmedamerica.com. And what I'll do is I'm going to sit here and we will add names while we're rolling. That way we get the contest in. I see some of you are already doing it. So let me see. I got Dane in here. Let me get these names out here. I'm going to put Dane B. And then I've got Ryan and G. Matt W. I've got William T. And yes, I am going back and looking, and you guys I've got your images on there, and I totally appreciate you guys doing that. Make sure it's the HOAPD that you guys are subscribing to. Yeah, you're going to have to give me just a sec. I see a lot of you going now. Let's see. ADXR920. Got Sean. Tim L. Nikki. Hannah R. Hannah R. Appreciate you guys doing this. It's going to be cool, and I think you'll enjoy the content. If you don't enjoy the content, look, guys, don't subscribe. You know what I mean? I know it's not for everybody, but I do appreciate those of you that are doing it. See, William, I already have William in there. Is that the same? That's not. Yeah, that's the same William. Did I put Julian? Yeah, Julian's in there. Chad, I got you in there. Emily, I have you in there. Charles. And we're hoping to put out at least one of these a week. It will likely be 2 a week, because I think that gets more of the audiences energized to come in there and take part in it and be a part of it a little bit quicker. So or a little bit more frequently, I should say. So my goal is that we definitely are doing this often enough that you guys are getting a lot of good content out there. It's fun. I mean, look at some of the older videos, and we do get better. I mean, we're not great, but we've certainly gotten better as we've done these. We've gotten way better. Let's see here. You guys are flying in here. Bam, bam. Oops. All right. I think that's it so far. We got one more in here. Any? See? All right. So I'm gonna see if I've got that up there. Yeah, you guys were able to see me punch all those names in. So I'm gonna hold this open for a second. Andrew just popped in here, so let me drop Andrew in there. Just want to be fair to everybody that's been hanging out on here, because I did say the contest would be here later on, and I don't want to leave anyone out simply because I didn't have time to put them in there. So if you give me just a second, be patient with me on that. Yep, here's another one, Plankton. So I'll be putting this video out tomorrow. You guys are going to want to see what's in this letter. Very interesting. I also have something that got sent to me from a viewer. Extremely interesting. It was from an FFL. And I'm gonna come back here in a second and put more names in here. So if you guys are putting your names in there, I'm not done here. So it's basically, and I don't know, whoever sent this might even be on here. I didn't print their name out on here. I try to respect you guys' privacy, so I don't put the names out. It's a NICS Denial Notification Act, and it's information regarding what's been happening with denials here as of late. And it's pretty interesting. I think you guys will want to see what I've got to say about that. It's crazy how things are being abused so bad. It's funny, ironically, what we just talked about, that gentleman who just left the ATF. I mean, I can definitely see that happen more and more because I think they're being expected to do such unscrupulous stuff that anybody in the ATF who might have had any kind of legitimate conscience is probably not fitting in so well right now, if you want to call it that. All right, let's do this. It's 8:02. Let's go till 8:15, and we'll make the drawing at 8:15. That way, we have a distinct cutoff period, and I won't mention it again. That way, any newcomers that come into the room, we're not constantly adding to this, because I mean, I don't want to deplete you guys' odds out there. So I'm not going to mention the contest anymore until we actually do the giveaway. So we'll move on from that. But I will continue to keep an eye on the names. I see the last one I put in, and I will monitor that. As you guys may or may not know, I will be in South Carolina next week with Palmetto State Armory. I'm going to be touring all of their facilities, getting some video content, looking at some of the new stuff. We'll tell you guys that the Jackal is a rifle that, if you don't know anything about the Jackal by Palmetto State Armory, you might want to. Very cool rifle. It's neat. You'll want to get your hands on that and take a look at it. That's for sure. So yeah, look for that next week. I'll be sending content for sure all week long. I'll be uploading. Won't be quite as polished videos as some of mine are, where I'm sliding the clips in and stuff like that, because I won't have that ability over there. I am going to bring my laptop, but it's still just not like my workstation here that I work on. So I will be doing that. And, so look for some really cool, the content ought to be pretty interesting, because it's going to all be for PSA. Also, if any of you guys are on here that live in the South Carolina area, maybe even North Carolina or Georgia, I'll be in the Columbia area. And I'm looking for, I've already gotten a lot of people, because I put a video out earlier this week that I was going to be over there. I want to do some meet and greets. And really, I hate to even call them meet and greets, because it sounds so self-serving. More of a go drink a beer. You know what I mean? I'd love to drink a beer with you guys. I'm going to try to do more of that as I go to different areas I'll put the word out where I'm going to be, and hopefully we can get together. I will be there for 4 nights. So my goal is, I think one gentleman, I'm going to reach back out to him that has gun range over there in one of the like surrounding communities not far away. I think one night I may hit him up and we might go to his range and then go eat, meet some other people over there. But in the Columbia area, even if it's 1 or 2 nights a week, I'm okay with it. It's not like I got anything else to do over there. But I would like to meet over at just any kind of bar and grill type place where we can all just sit around, talk about firearms, Second Amendment, and just meet each other and interact a little bit. I really enjoy that. I really get a lot. I'm not good at being approached because I don't know how to deal with that, the recognition part of it, but I like dealing with folks. So if we can do something that's kind of informal where we all kind of meet at the same place and we have a couple of cold beers or whatever, you don't have to drink, and eat, just kind of, shoot the bull for a little while, just essentially visit. I'm going to bring some legally armed America stuff. Obviously I'll have decals, some patches. I'm probably going to bring various different size t-shirts so I can give some of those away as well. Baseball caps. I mean, I don't have a gazillion things to bring, but I'm going to bring some stuff out there so that my intent is to give it all away while I'm there. But I've got all kind of neat little stuff that I can bring over there and give away. Definitely plenty of decals and things of that nature. So I intend to do that. I'm going to bring some of my books. If anybody wants to buy a copy of my book, I'll sell them at below what the cost to buy the book is. I autograph every single one of my books, so they would all be autographed. But again, just kind of a quick word to everybody in the South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia area that I will be in Columbia, South Carolina for 4 nights next week. And I'd love to, meet up with you guys. If you know of a place over there to meet up, I need to reach out to somebody. I'd like to obviously, contact somebody before I get there. So I may try to make some phone calls tomorrow or Sunday to see somebody that can actually accommodate us and have, hopefully it's not, too small of an area. I'd like to get enough to where we can all sit down and just kind of relax for a little while. So I'm totally looking forward to that. Let me get back to this real quick because I don't want us to run out of time. Let me go back to the wheel real quick and add some folks into there. Let's see, where did I leave off at? I left off at Wayne. Okay. Where is that? There we go, Wayne. Okay, so let me punch these in, and then if it looks like we might be nearing the end of it, so we'll go ahead and do that drawing here in a second. This is the wheel that you're looking at here. This is just one of the little wheels that will do the choosing for you randomly, so it doesn't look like I'm showing favorites and siding with somebody and picking them instead. So this is just a fair way to do that. So let me get these in. And thank you guys. I appreciate y'all following HOAPD. Again, I've enjoyed the heck out of it. It's really fun doing those videos. I think you guys will get a kick out of it. It's really kind of making fun at people who abuse authority in various positions. And this is my way of kind of making fun of them in a mocking kind of way that I don't feel bad about it, because at least we can laugh about it and have a good time with it. So I enjoy it. Again, it's HOAPD. You want me to pull one of the other videos up real quick, guys? Last week's video was pretty good. Not last week's, but here we go. Here's one. This is a good one. Hang on 1 second. Stand by. I'm going to have to. Here we go. All right. Let me come back to this one. I'm going to add another screen in here. Let's see. Oh, maybe I can't. Yeah, apparently I can only show one screen at a time. So I'm not going to show another one. I'll do that one after we do the drawing. How about that? Let me make sure. Let's see if I got anybody else on here. Now, Jennifer, I know I have Jennifer in there as the last one. And let me make sure. I hate letting a beer get hot. That's so sinful. I'm not going to throw it out though. I'm going to finish drinking that. I'm running my mouth too much and not drinking my beer. I am going to drink a couple more though when I get out of here. So this first one here is kind of like, but yeah, the HOAPD is kind of funny because we got some of the ridiculous things that we're going to do, like measuring the length of people's grass and stuff like that. It's really funny how some of the I live in a neighborhood that has a mild HOA. In other words, they're not real intrusive. They don't have stupid things that they really hold your feet to the fire on. So it's not quite so bad. But this HOA that we're kind of naming it after, let's just say the word wood is in their name. And we actually named our neighborhood, the fictitious neighborhood, Dickwood. And we've actually got a logo built up for it and everything. And we have t-shirts that we sell, kind of like you have Dunder Mifflin shirts for the office. We've got Dickwood shirts for HOAPD. So that's kind of cool. We like them. So they're probably going to be getting them out pretty quick, I would imagine. Let's see. I think I had a duplicate that I just saw on here. I want to make sure that I don't give somebody a unfair advantage here. Let me make sure. Yeah, I already have that one on here. So I'm a couple of minutes early. Up a couple of more just came, or one more came in. Let me get that in here. Make sure that I don't have it already. So yeah, HOAPD is a lot of fun. Again, it's a different side of me that you guys probably don't see very often. But as you can probably tell, a lot of my videos, I've certainly have a dark humor side to my personality. So this is kind of an outlet for me. And it gives me a chance to include more humor in a video rather than trying to be as serious as I do on Legally Armed America, because a lot of the stuff that we do here on Legally Armed America isn't necessarily comedy based or whatever. So not that I'm a comic, I'm just saying it's one of those things where it gives me an outlet, if you will, if you want to call it that. So guys, you want to go ahead and do the drawing. Let's do it. All right, everybody, I've got all the names in over here. You guys have sent me your emails. So, and make sure you all can see it. Yep, it's out there. So let's go ahead and do the drawing. All right, let me see. Where is the drawing thing at? There. Am I overlooking it? Where is it? Is it results maybe? Maybe do I click results? Oh, wait, I think you clicked the wheel. Yep. Here we go, guys. Where you at, Ryan? Oh, no. Matt, it just passed over Ryan and went to Matt. I'm trying to play with you there. All right, so Matt, you are the winner. You have just won the Metallica logoed baseball cap, Legally Armed America baseball cap. The AR-15 30-round magazine by Mission First Tactical that they made for us that has my logo on it, and a signed copy of my book, How to Make a Monster. If you will email me your shipping address, then we will definitely get this out to you. You're probably going to have to wait until the following week because I fly out before I'll be able to get to my office to package this up for you. I may try to run it in tomorrow, but I'm not sure. I'll try. If not, if you don't see it this coming week, it will get to you the following week. But email me that. Email me whatever you want me to sign the book. Guys, if you don't already know this, that anybody that gets a copy of my book, How to Make a Monster, I sign the inside cover of every single one. So if you want a book, I sign them all. Everyone that's left my office has been signed. So, guys, that's pretty much it for the night. What I'm going to try to do is those of you that kind of been following me, I'm probably going to do my pin of shame video on Sunday, like I've done the last 2 Sundays in a row. So hopefully we'll do that. And, I will be flying out shortly after that. So it's going to be kind of a rush thing, but I enjoy the pin of shame videos. Those are a lot of fun. We get a lot of good conversation going for that. Guys, thank you so much for those of you that tuned in tonight. Matt, congratulations to you on your haul that you won. And look, guys, I mean, to help the channel grow for HOAPD, if you don't mind, please share the videos and suggest that some people subscribe, because that's what makes all the difference in the world. The viewing time, and of course the subscriptions, of course, all that matters. We get to a point where the channel will continue to grow, kind of like what we've had a chance to be able to grow here. So nevertheless, guys, thank you for spending your Friday night with me. I always appreciate that when you do it. I know you guys got better things to do on a Friday night. The fact that you do it here and hang out with me means a lot to me. Hopefully you guys have a cold beer. I'm going to go drink me a couple of beers. The first beer getting hot is probably sinful. That's probably something that no one should ever do. But I knew better than to open it up before I started talking. So I'm going to go visit with my little boy here in a minute, and he's outside right now, and have a good time. Guys, if you drink, please find a designated driver, or if you're home, just enjoy yourself. Drink in moderation, or get drunk if you want to, as long as you're home or you have a ride, it's fine. But enjoy yourself. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. If you go to the range, guys, please watch out. There's a lot of people at the ranges these days, and probably not shooting quite as much as they used to because of the price of ammo, but there's a lot of new shooters out there. And of course, as we often see with new shooters comes inexperience. So I just want to make sure that, we see everybody back here every Friday, which, by the way, again, I may not be back on here next Friday, simply because I will be flying in from Palmetto State Armory. So we may be skipping next Friday live stream, but nevertheless, I hope to see you guys, if nothing else, the following Friday. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate it. One quick shout out I want to mention to you guys. If you get a chance, go to themagshack.com, themagshack.com. I've recently been doing a lot of business with them, getting some mags from them. Been very happy with them. The shipping times are really fast, and they have an abundance of all the different types of magazines that you might be looking for. So again, if you get a chance, run on out to themagshack.com. Tell them I sent you, but certainly take a look at their inventory and grab something and pick it up if you get the chance to. Guys, have a safe, happy weekend. And I will be putting more videos out Saturday and Sunday. So look for more stuff coming in from me. Thank you again, guys. Have a great weekend and a very safe evening.